Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hey Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much for joining today. Wanted to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, Bonita, Shila Prabhupada, and the assembled devotees, so that we can continue with summary and lessons from the Bhagavad Gita. We are on chapter 10, which is entitled The Opulence of the Absolute. So the summary of the first 7 verses, Krishna reveals to Arjuna further how no one knows him. Nobody can know God. How he is unborn, he's beginningless, he is a source of all qualities in us, and how the sages also come from his mind. The sages are very pure, and his mind is very pure. He's revealing to Arjuna because of his personal relationship with his dear friend. So lesson to learn is, there are 5 relationships that one can have with God. They're called rasas. There's 5 different rasas. Shantaras, where one is neutral. One is just observing the Lord's pastimes. So this is, for example, grass or trees. They're just observing the part. They don't take active part necessarily in a relationship with God. Then there's Dasyaras, servant. And the best servant is Hanuman, as we all know. Hanuman is the greatest. And he is the perfect servant, because anything Ram Chandra wanted, he would immediately do. Even if he was not asked by Ram, if he saw some seva that needed to be done, he would do it. And that pleased Ram very much. And there's Sakyaras. So Arjuna is considered to be an example of a relationship with God in friendship. Sakyaras. Then there's Vatsalyaras. So in this category, there are many, like Yashodamai and Nanda Maharaj, Devaki and Vasudeva. So Vatsalyaras can look after the Lord as a parent or as a nurse. So this is a mood that devotee can have, that I want to look after my dear Lord. I want to look after this wonderful personality. And then there's the topmost, which is Madhurya Ras, which is in conjugal mood, in loving relationship, like the gopis. So like this, there are 5 different relationships that we can have with the Supreme Lord. There are many others, but these are the primary 5 relationships. Now, summary of 8 to 11. Riansh, would you like to recite these 4 chapters, 4 verses? You know them by heart.
Yes, Prash.
Go for it.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo vatta sarva pravartate ite matva vajantema vada bhava samanvita machita matgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantasya bhavlecha tasyalti cha avalti cha tesham satata yuktara vatatam priti purvakam Tarami Vati Yogantam Yena Mamupayante Teshamevanu Kampatam Hamakjana Jamtamaha Nasat Jatma Bhavastu Jana Dvipena Vasvata.
Wow, thank you very, very much. These 4 verses are the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. These 4 verses very beautifully describe the Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell. And they describe spirituality in its 3 essential stages. So these stages are, first, one has to get knowledge of our relationship with God. That's called sambandha. getting knowledge, gyan, of our relationship. Second stage is to put that knowledge into practice. We apply that knowledge in our daily life. That's called abhidaya. And the third stage is the mature fruit of such practice, which is pure spiritual consciousness, unbounded love of God, which is called prayojana. So this is getting the relationship, acting on that relationship, and then getting the full benefit of this practice. Three stages. So Bhagavad Gita is actually a spiritual science. Since there is hypothesis, getting the knowledge, then there is experimentation. So you're putting that knowledge into practice. And then you're observing the result. Sambandha, abhidaya, prayojana. So these 4 verses give a roadmap of spirituality from beginning to end. And the lesson, which is the third of these 4 verses, Krishna says to Arjuna, to those who constantly devoted to serving Krishna with love, Krishna gives the understanding by which they come to him, they go to him. So this is very nice. If we simply are devoted to serving God with love, he will automatically give us the knowledge we need to go to him within ourselves. He will automatically give it. There's no independent need to do anything else if we serve God with love. So this is very beautiful verse which Krishna gives this guarantee. And then summary of verses 12 to 18, Arjuna accepts Krishna as a Supreme Lord, and he's stating that all the great sages also accept this. And he also says to Krishna, tell me more about yourself. Tell me more. So this is very nice. This lesson from this is we can also develop a desire to know more about God, and he will fulfill our desire. Knowing more about God's opulence will convince us that he is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. But knowing and appreciating his sweetness through his pastimes with his devotees, that will make us fall in love with him. So it's very important to get to know the Lord more and more and more. I want to know more about you, my dear Lord. This is what Arjuna is saying to Krishna. And then many, many verses now, Krishna explains from 19 to 42. That's a lot of verses, about 33 verses. Krishna gives all the different opulences that can be found in this world about himself. 82 of these opulences he gives. And then he's saying, this is just a tiny fraction of my opulences. Krishna describes the most prominent amongst his limitless, all-pervading opulence. By doing this, he explains how one can actually think about Krishna, meditate on Krishna, and see Krishna everywhere. It is not that Krishna is physically all these things he mentions, but rather he is the source of the opulence of these things, their strength, fame, wealth, etc. So after naming 82 opulences, Krishna concludes by stating that these simply hint at his glory, since he pervades and supports the entire universe with a mere fragment of his energy. So actually Krishna is unlimited. That's the lesson to learn. And he gives a small hint of his opulences through these verses, 33 verses. And one of the things he explains is, of cows, I am Surabhi. So this is very important. Cows are very special to Krishna. Krishna can't live without Gaumata. He serves Gaumata every day. He worships them every day. He milks them every day. He grazes them every day. In this world when he comes, and when he's in the spiritual world, that time as well. So he can't live without cows. And we don't even remember cow once in a day. So we should make it a habit to remember Gomata. Gomata ki jai. Every day. At least once. In Bharat, it's very easy to remember. You just got to walk out, and no doubt on the street there will be some Gomatas. And you can feed them, you can do so many things. But here in this country, it's so impersonal. We hardly will see Gomata. So we must always try to remember Gomata. Very important lesson. So the summary of chapter 10, the lessons: become a friend of the Lord. By becoming a friend, he will reveal everything. To those who are constantly devoted to Krishna, he reveals himself. Number 42, develop a desire to know more about the Lord. I want to know more about you. I want to read about you. I want to hear about you. And Krishna's opulences are all around us and unlimited. So these are the lessons from this. Chapter 11 is about the universal form. Now, in the beginning, Arjuna makes an humble request to the Lord. Please show us your universal form. He requests in a humble mood. And also, if we notice, throughout the Gita, he hasn't asked for any material things. He hasn't said to Krishna, please, kill these, the army again, who is standing in front of us. He doesn't ask for anything. This is the beauty of the devotees. One may ask, why did Arjuna make such a request to see the universal form? Because he can already see Krishna. And Krishna in his two-handed form is the most hardest to see. And once seen, it completely satisfies one, as confirmed in chapter 10. That's when Arjuna says to Krishna, I am really fully satisfied now. I've seen, I can understand your position. So of course, Arjuna doesn't have any personal agenda in seeing the universal form. He's requesting that for other reasons. He wants to prove, Arjuna wants to prove without doubt, Krishna's position as the source of everything. Second, he wants to set a standard for anyone in the future who claims to be God, to show such similar opulence. If you're claiming to be God, prove it. Show me your opulence. Now, unfortunately, our modern world is nevertheless plagued with so many so-called incarnations and God-men, claiming to be the latest savior of society, just because they can do some some magic tricks. They can produce ashes out of nothing. So what? Doesn't make you God. So Arjuna requested the Lord, show me your universal form. And in the future, if somebody says, I am God, okay, show me. Show me your universal form. I will then believe you. So lesson 44, we should not accept just anybody as God. There are many indications of a genuine incarnation. For example, he's described in the scriptures. They perform amazing activities. The gurus and the bhaktas accept them as God. And they have special markings as well on their hands, on the soles of their feet. They have so many different markings. So in this way, one should not be fooled by so-called pretend incarnations of God. Then Arjuna, then Krishna shows him, Krishna grants Arjuna's wish, and he shows him his all-encompassing Virat Rup, universal form. So, while God is the source of this universe, he is simultaneously the universe itself, in the sense that he is present within his own creation. For example, in the author's writings, you can probably understand something about him. So if somebody writes a book, there'll be a small hint about themselves in that book because they're writing the book. They're the cause of the book, and the effect is present in the cause. So in the same way, the cause is present within the effect. The cause, that's the author, is present within this world. Similarly, God is the source of everything in this universe, but simultaneously he is encompassing this universe. That is the universal form. It is not that God is the sum of all the parts, but rather everything is contained within God. It's not that everything makes God. No, it's that everything is within God. That's the whole point. It's not that the trees and the cars and the houses and the books make all put together and that's God. No. But actually, everything is already within God. That's the point. That's the universal form. Everything is within God. In that fearful vision of the universal form, Arjuna could see all living beings, all material objects, and the entirety of past, present, future. So we can also develop a strong desire to have darshan of the Lord. And there's many ways to have darshan. Through the eyes, we can see the deities. Through our activities, we can do bhakti, and we can feel the presence of God in that seva. By meditating, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Feel the presence of the Lord in the sound formation, sound in his sound, in the sound of his holy names. And through our intelligence, by telling others about God. So in this way, we can have darshan of the Lord in many different ways every day. Summary of the third theme of Bhagavad, of chapter 11. Arjuna falteringly prays to the universal form. He's awed by the greatness of Krishna. Because Krishna shows him the form, and he shows him shows him that Bhishma and Drona are all getting crushed by Krishna, by his universal form. So Arjuna is in awe and reverence of Krishna. He begs forgiveness for having treated him with familiarity and friendship. Now, most religious traditions don't go beyond this majestic understanding of God. God is great, right? That is Allah. Allah means God is great. Or in our terminology, Ishwar. He is the Ishwar, controller, supreme controller. Or he's all-knowing, he's infallible, he's the creator. But this often leads to a fearful exchange with God, lacking intimacy. So we are thinking God is great, but there's no closeness with God. We're scared of him because he's so powerful. So, but actually that's not what God wants. He wants us to have a personal, sweet relationship with him. So, lesson to learn is we should be clear about what the Lord wants, right? Now, we've been in this world for many, many lifetimes. After many of these lifetimes, we finally got a human body. And the human body is very rare and to achieve. And it can be destroyed at any time. Death can happen at any moment. The devotees Sangha and the seed of Bhakti, Bhakti Lata Bij, is very rare. But somehow we've got it. Somehow Krishna has given us this Bhakti Lata Bij and Sadhu Sang. And he's given us the Bhagavad Gita. And we can chant his holy names and perform bhakti. So we are very lucky. Very, very lucky. So we should try to make use of this wonderful opportunity and hear about Bhagavad Gita again and again and again. Very important to understand the Lord and his mission. His mission is for us to go back to him. into the spiritual world. So he comes here and he shows us his sweetness, his loving nature. And then Krishna says to Arjuna that because he's frightened, and he explains to Arjuna that time I am the great destroyer of all the worlds. He also says, the opposition is already destroyed, become my instrument. So we have to do our duty, because that is how we can serve God, through our duty, performing our duty and remembering him at the same time. The duty is already done. The effect is already there. We simply become his instrument. Simply become his instrument. That's why he said to Arjuna, Duryodhana and Bhishma and Dronacharya, they're already destroyed. Just become my instrument. Take the credit. So appreciating the Lord's greatness, Arjuna offers his obeisances to the Lord, and he apologizes for his familiarity with Krishna, appreciating his greatness. So because Krishna is saying, time I am the destroyer, great destroyer of the world, we shouldn't waste any time. There are unlimited ways to waste our time if we want to. TV, social media, news, listening to the news all the time. Gossip, that's a classic one. Gossiping about somebody. Mobile games, mobile phone games, mundane music. Social events. At some point in our life, we have to say, no, enough. No more weddings. No more birthdays. I am now need to focus on my spiritual life. Reading mundane literature for pleasure or passing the time. So very important lesson, this one. Not to waste time. Time. One moment is gone, is lost forever. No matter how much money we have, we cannot say to Yamraj, give me that moment back. It's gone. So this is the most valuable thing that we possess in our life, that is time. So give time to God. Give time to his bhaktas. Don't waste time. And then the final part of chapter 11, Arjuna is fearful. He requests to see Krishna's 400 form. Is that enough of the universal form? It's scary. And he also then requests to see the human-like 200 form of Krishna, around whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers beautified with the moon locket, whose 2 hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, and whose graceful threefold bending form attracts the minds of his devotees. So the ancient Sanskrit texts describe Krishna as Raso Vaisa, a very embodiment of affectionate relationships and loving, relishable and transcendental sweetness. His form is very difficult to see. The 2-handed form is very difficult. 2-handed, 3-bending form of the Lord is the original form of Krishna. Extremely difficult to have darshan of, let alone achieve. So we have to understand that God is a person who is full of color, character and bliss. He knows how to have a good time. And is more interested in relishing the sweetness of pure love than the ritualistic worship of those who approach him in all reverence. So very, very important that we do our bhakti and worship the personal form of God. The Murti, the deity, can be Krishna, can be Rama, can be Vishnu, but should be of the Supreme Lord or his incarnations. Very important to do that. Otherwise, we will be falsely guided. Any questions? It's quite a philosophical discussion today.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
and all the devotees. Very interesting. Couple of questions about the. You did mention about the houses and all the things in the house. God is within it. So I didn't understand that. And
Yes.
second question was when you said everything is within.
Yes, so it's not that if we put a house together, God is that house. No. But we should understand that within God is everything. Everything is already there. Within God. Everything exists within God.
Yeah, okay. Because how a house is not like a life, is it? It hasn't got no life in it, has it? It's just built by a person.
Oh, yeah. But remember, Krishna says, I am the Himalayas. And if you think Himalayas are right, rocks, you know. So Krishna is
Yes.
everywhere. His opulence is everywhere. But it doesn't mean that if we put all the opulence together, that's God. No, 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 no. God is always God. And within him is everything. That's the point. God is everything. Within everything, within him is everything.
Yeah. And the second question was you did mention just now about this social thing that we must give everything. But living with the family and friends, and when you get this invitation, and they say, no, please come. So what you just say, sorry, I can't come?
At some point in our life, we have to come to this point where enough, social is enough now. Why should I waste my time on this? If you invite me to satsang, I will come.
Ah, okay, all right. But any going to the parties or weddings or
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. What about family dinners? Still give up?
No. Only when you're ready. Not now. It's too early for you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I said, oh my God, I've got longer for that.
But at some
Like
point,
soon the daughter's, my daughter's daughter is she's already 22. Soon she will get married. Then I have to go there.
that's right.
So things I'm just
Once all of
thinking.
your
I said, oh my
social
God.
commitments are finished, once your daughter is married, at some point you will have to come to a situation where, okay, mare, satsang
નથી.
માં રહેવું છે, સત્સંગમાં જ રહેવું.
સત્સંગમાં વધારે રહેવું છે. Okay.
Balance
That's
કરવું
good
પડે.
idea.
Balance.
Balance, yeah, balance. All right, thank you.
What
I
about
mean, I'm sorry, I do still watch TV serials.
yeah. At the end of the day, somehow or other, the habits are there, and it takes time. It takes time to read them. But we should understand this is not good, and at some point I will give it up.
Give it up, yeah. Thank you. And it is a wasting of time. Like
Yeah.
if you're watching even the film for 3 hours, you're sitting in front of the television and you're spending that 3 hours there just watching that film.
Yeah.
But the way you are telling is good, that wasting that time, then just why don't you do chanting? Be better.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mrs. Saha. Very good.
Yeah, Prabhu, you said Bhakti Lata Bij. So what about it? Could you explain and tell me?
Sorry?
You mentioned the Bhakti Lata Bij.
No, Bhakti Lata Bij. Bhakti Lata Bij. Bhakti Lata Bij is the seed of Bhakti. When it is planted, we have to water it and look after it. And we'll do a class on that. There's a whole 9 stages that we have to go carefully through. Is that okay?
No, yeah, I'm driving. It's okay. You say I'm.
Yeah, what we'll do one day, I will let you know when it is. You join us. And we'll
Okay,
talk about the Bhakti Lata
okay,
Beach.
okay,
Because
okay, Prabhu. It's
there's
very, 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 very
nine stages, starting with Shraddha.
important.
Starts, yeah, very, very important. Bhakti Lata Beach, very
Yeah.
important. Thank you. What we'll do is maybe
Very important.
before the Devata,
Okay, Prabhu.
we will look at that. Maybe next Tuesday. Maybe next Tuesday or Monday. We will look at that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu.
So,
Thanks.
Madhuben,
Bye.
તમે muted છો?
So it's Bhakti Lata Beach. You mean is it related with Adhyatmics?
Yeah, it's definitely related, but this is where આપણે થોડુંક ભક્તિનું મળ્યું હોય ને શ્રદ્ધા એ કેવી રીતના આપણે આગળ લઈ આવવાનું એ છે ને આપણે સોમવાર કે મંગળવારે કરશું.
Okay. So, now I'm asking you, is related with our Shraddha or our faith? Yeah. No, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what
Very
I wanted.
much, very much. Shraddha is the beginning.
Yeah. That's right. Okay.
Very much.
Thank you.
No, thank you so much. Very good, very good. Anything else?
Prabhu,
Yes,
sorry
Jamali.
if you don't mind me asking.
No.
When
please.
you said when you said the Himalaya has all the opulence of Krishna, of God.
One of the opulences, yeah.
Sorry?
He says, of mountains, I am the Himalaya.
Okay. But what about Govardhan then? Is it same?
But he is Govardhan himself, you know. Krishna is there. But Himalaya is not Krishna. But Govardhan is Krishna.
Okay, all right.
There's a difference between the two.
Okay.
Wow.
So does that mean the Himalaya has all the opulence?
It is one of the opulences that
I see.
describes 82 opulences.
Yeah.
And one of them he says, of mountains, I am the Himalaya.
All right. Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
Other way you can say, wherever your Shraddha, that's all things is their appearance Krishna, isn't it? Where anything is.
Yeah, nothing is independent. That's very true. Nothing is independent of Krishna. Nothing moves without his blessing.
That's right, yeah.
In that sense, yes.
Thank you.
Just one, everybody finished? Just one more question.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You know, you was telling it's very nice when you wake up 3:30 or 4:30 in the morning and have a little chant, yeah?
Chant, yes. Good time.
Yeah. But this thing obviously happens to me, like sometimes it's 3:30 and sometimes it's 4 o'clock, and my eyes suddenly opens and I think, look at it, and it's when you look at it in the in the clock, and it says, oh, it's 3:30 or 4, and then start chanting in the bed, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. But to be honest with you, I fell asleep after, like, I'm chanting, and then all of a sudden 5 o'clock I fell asleep again, and then I wake up 7 or 7:30. And I sometimes think I have already woke up once in the morning, but why I do go sleep again? Or is it happens to everyone?
Yeah. It's standard.
Yeah, it happens.
It's standard.
Yeah.
It happens to us. Yeah, we all fall asleep.
It happened me also.
So I was thinking, I said, oh my God, now it's already 7:30. And then everything is late.
Yeah.
But it is all right to chant that time in the morning.
Early morning is very good.
Yes.
Yes,
what he was saying? I think it's
no, me also same thing.
Mataji, okay, yeah. Same thing happens to you, yeah? I think it's gone now.
Yeah, his connection is not good. Yeah, it
Good.
happens to everybody.
All
The
right.
only-
So
It's to understand
thank you.
that this is the most important time of my day. When I'm chanting Lord's name, I'm with Krishna. How can I
Yeah.
be bored with Krishna? Because
Yeah.
he's the most exciting person. He's the most exciting personality. Let me chant with enthusiasm. So if we chant in the right mood, you won't fall asleep.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you
This
very
is my
much.
time with God. I am now talking with God. This is the most important conversation I am having.
All right. Thank you.
Then you won't sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you mind if I'm asking you, since what age you started doing bhakti?
Oh, I see. Probably roughly about 18. No, yeah, 18.
Okay, thank you.
I was
Prabhu,
looking
why
at
did I know you that? It's like,
Sorry?
yeah. No, I wish I met you before, long time before when I came in this country.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it would have been amazing to have been knowing you for such a long time. But anyway, it's never too late.
Yeah.
Never too
You
late.
are right. It's never too late. I mean,
Yeah.
Maya is there all the time. But when you get chance to do the bhakti, just carry on, you know.
Absolutely. Make the most of it. Make the
I'm
most.
sorry, but I had to open it out. Thank you.
Very true. Very true. No, thank you so much. Very good. Thank you. So, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.